Everything can change for you in 2021. You can achieve another level of freedom, another level of financial success, another level with your body, with your training. I know this is possible because I've been working with coaches and showing them how to get themselves to another level and testing these methods on myself and working with the highest level athletes in the world for the last decade, specifically for the last 6 years working inside of my own business, developing 3 7-figure businesses. I know that you can achieve that level of freedom. We have a Hall of Fame in Real Movement where there are, dozens and dozens of coaches who've escaped a life that they didn't really want to live. Some of them were working in mines, some of them were just working in other professions that they didn't really like, or they were coaches, but they weren't getting the results that they wanted. And then they got themselves to be, a full-time wage, making good money. And there's even some of those who've got to 7-figure per annum earners as well. That's what I love, and that's what I would like to help you to do. It is a better life than the life that most people are leading. I think the majority of people out there at the moment know that they could be achieving a lot more and that they would like to achieve a lot more. They just simply don't know how to get it. If you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. If it's any of these things that I've been talking about, then I have those experiences over and over again. I want you to be ready to go on Joe Rogan. What would it take for you to be ready to go on Joe Rogan? I can't guarantee that Joe Rogan's ever going to have you on his podcast. I don't know if he's ever going to have me on his podcast. But I know that we can work on being ready to do that. And I think in the process of becoming that person, you're going to have to help 1 million people. You're going to have to overcome all sorts of personal barriers. You're going to have to build a business. You're going to have to build a network. You're going to have to work on yourself, get your training done, get your education work done, and really live your mission. If you don't know what your mission is, we can also help you to find that. A lot of coaches have really been able to identify their purpose. And if I have a gift, it's seeing more potential in someone and a potential business in someone's passions that they may not be able to see for themselves. One conversation could be enough for you to spark a dream, spark a change, and start a process that creates a domino effect where you really become the person you want to be, the person that you can be proud of. 2 years ago, I started working with Ben Patrick. At the time, he had 50 online clients. He had a face-to-face gym. He was a great coach, but he hadn't had someone say to him, hey, the world really needs to see this. I saw what he was doing and I said, hey, the world really needs to see this. 2 years later, he's got over 6,000 members and he may be the first Rogan-ready coach. I know he's ready. I don't know when he's going to get the knock on the door, but I'm looking for more people who want to go on that journey. And you might feel as though, well, that sounds ridiculous for you from where you're at right now. If you're working in the mines, if you're struggling to make ends meet, if you've never, created a 7-figure business, then this might seem ridiculous to you. But what I can tell you is that from my perspective, I know that you have the potential to do that. If you can understand this message, if you're someone who, has been to the gym, if you're someone who has read a book or listened to a book, if you're someone who is willing, to get out of bed and get to work, then I know that there is a lot more waiting for you. And the fun of life is in that potential. I'm a student of human potential. I've been working with top level athletes. At the start of this year, I flew to England to work with Sonny Bill Williams. While he was in England, I had a month-long training camp with him before that. He's the highest profile rugby player, one of the highest profile athletes in the Southern Hemisphere, probably the highest profile. And he has high standards. And the opportunity to work with him and to learn from him and to be part of his life is one that I'm forever thankful for. The same with Ben. I've been fortunate enough to work with a number of super high level athletes and mentors, sometimes as a coach, sometimes as a student. I can tell you that this life is better than the alternative. It's scary to invest in yourself only because we've been socially engineered to spend our money on stuff that doesn't improve in value and not invest in ourselves. The price of Bitcoin has just spiked. If you didn't know about that, if you weren't in on that, then you've missed an opportunity. But I'll tell you what's a much, much bigger opportunity that Bitcoin is ever going to be. The opportunity of you turning yourself into who you're really proud of who you want to be. No scientist can tell you what your potential is. You have unlimited potential. If you were to get the right support, to study, to engage in a process, to associate with high achievers, who would you become? I know there are going to be voices in your head saying, well, there's no way I could do this, or this is a scam, or that's how you've been programmed to think. It's the few crazy people that believe in themselves that go out there and create $1 million businesses, that go out there and change 1 million lives for better, that have the courage to say, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't matter what the governments are doing. It's about what I choose to do, about who I'm going to be. And that's the most important thing you can ever invest in. You can see I get passionate about this stuff. I know that you can be more than you are. The fun is in doing that. The fun is in being able to do things that you couldn't do before. We're going to start with things like 5-ball juggling and doing handstands. That's going to give you the confidence of then learning those high profit skills. So we're going to learn very difficult skills where you have to rewire your brain, and you can see this neuroplasticity going on. Your brain is rewiring minute by minute, and you have proof of it with the juggling. You have proof of it with the handstands. You have proof of your body's ability to adapt by doing handstand push-ups, by doing splits. There's no doubt in your mind that you are changing. And we're going to leverage that into profitable business. We're going to leverage that into you inviting other people to change their lives for the better in whichever way you're dreaming of. Do you want to work with kids? Do you want to work with older people? Do you want to work with athletes? Do you want to work with... There's any number of problems in the world today. There's any number of challenges in the world today. But finding your own personal power through your physicality, through your learning, is going to open the door for you to create. We haven't been educated on this. You shouldn't be surprised if this message sounds kind of strange. But you can learn to be wealthy. You can learn to be healthy. You can learn to be happy. You just haven't been taught. I can tell you from personal experience, there were times in my life where I didn't know if I wanted to live. Those times are long gone. Every day now I bounce out of bed, excited for the day, the opportunity that I have to create, the hundreds of super positive people around the world that I get the opportunity to work with. And I design new and better systems and education to support them. I plan around that every day. I develop myself with that every day to play that role. Who would you lead? Who would you become? Who would you need to be to get yourself to be Rogan ready? What a challenge. I invite you to take that challenge. Right now, for 2021, we've got an offer. You can join Real Movement for $600. I'm a little embarrassed to tell you that. It used to be $10,000 to get involved. It's been up to $30,000. Right now, you can get involved for the 12 months for $600. It's 50% off. It's usually $100 a month. We will never do this again, and there are only 100 places. When you join, you have the opportunity to have a sit-down one-to-one with me and discuss your dream. I'm going to challenge you to improve yourself, to change yourself. And you're going to be around a lot of other people who are going through the same process. You're going to have their support, as well as mine, to make a difference in the world, to be who you really can be, rather than who you are right now. And you might take that as an insult, but better to hear the truth and to decide to make a change than not. Most people are going to hear this, they're going to click off, they're going to do other things, they're going to go grab another beer, grab another piece of cake, go back, sit on the lounge, watch another game. That's okay. I'm after the ones who make a decision, who really want to back themselves and make a difference. People think it's unfair that only a few people get to experience real wealth, that only a few people get to experience having friends all over the world and a high degree of freedom where they get to choose what they want to do anytime, live their purpose, answer to nobody but themselves. But there's no luck involved. It's a decision. Very few people will make the decision to become the person who you need to be to enjoy that freedom. If you've made that decision while you're listening to this video, click, by, and I'll talk to you on the other side. This is real. There are hundreds of people who've been through this journey. This is real. You're real. This is your life. Make a decision to do something special with it, and I'm going to be there with you the whole way. I'm going to be teaching you everything that I learn, everything that I have learned. It already works. It already has worked with professional athletes all around the world, with coaches all around the world. This is not my first rodeo, but I invite you to be involved. 2021 is going to be a very special year. 2021 is all about finding the next Rogan Ready coach, the next Ben Patrick, the next Sonny Bill Williams. What if the world knew your name? Let's do this.